Peace and high frequencies, everybody. I want to talk about reoccurring dreams. Why do reoccurring dreams happen? Why do they occur? And what's the symbolism and what is being told to you in reoccurring dreams? So let's start with the explanation of what a reoccurring dream is. So it can come in various states. You can have a reoccurring dream that happens every time you go to sleep. Whether it be every time you go to sleep at night, every time that you have a nap. It can be any of those times that, you're not in this form, physical form, consciously. That is a reoccurring dream, and you go back to the same state, location, energy, relationship, family that you had, when you would sleep before. So that can be reoccurring anytime you fall asleep. Or it can be like when in one night or whenever you sleep, you wake up, you go back to sleep, you wake up, you go back to sleep, all within one day. And each time you go back to sleep, you go back to that same reoccurring storyline, timeline of whatever your life is in that particular travel. So that's also reoccurring. So some people can. I talked to a friend of mine last week, and she was telling me about a coworker of hers and how she says every time she goes to sleep, she got this husband and family and her kids, and she'll lay down and she will imagine that space, and then she falls asleep right into it, or sometimes she daydreams herself into that space. So it can be either one. What happened to me, it wasn't, and what normally happens to me, I'm not imagining the space, it just occurs. So that's the reoccurring dreams. Now, let's talk about why they occur. So reoccurring dreams can occur because there may be some energy within that timeline that needs to be addressed. And it may not always be from, when we say address, we always think about possibly, and I know my mind goes to negative energy that needs to be cleaned up. It's not always that. It's just what your energetic field needs at that time to balance the energy there and here. So it may not always be that it's negative or positive. It's just what needs to be done in that realm of your other existences. And maybe you need to direct more attention there that has been lacking, and it'll be some things that you've experienced here in your growth factor that you've had in this reality that we're in here in this realm, and it could be some growth factors that you've had in that timeline that will also affect this one. So there is an energetic force exchange of knowingness that has occurred across consciousness and timelines. So it's very important that you go back to that state and do that, make that connection and do that work if that work is needed, or maybe that information is needed to bring it back to the conscious state here, and vice versa. All right, and so I want to go into my dream last night, and it was a reoccurring dream. I think I woke up about 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. Of course, going to the restroom, coming back, just waking up and hearing something, and then going back to the dream. I think it happened about 3 or 4 times, but I went back to the same energetic dream state. And the gist of the dream, I'm not going to go deep into it because for the most part it was mostly a personal dream in which there was a energetic field I felt of my child's father, and the energy I felt of my current connection. And we were on a trip. Felt like we had went on a trip out of town, and it was me and his son, and And in part of the dream, on one part of the dream that I woke up on, he was reluctant to show affection in front of his son towards me. And that kind of made me hesitant about, why are we together if you can't even show affection towards me to your teenage son. So that was an issue. I woke up from that, went back to sleep, and then take that call later. I'm in the same place that we traveled to, but during this part of the dream, he went ahead of me while we were walking down this strip, and I felt like we had already, kind of had a riff earlier about him disconnecting from me and not wanting to connect in front of his son. And another man walked up, and I was kind of trying to make him jealous, so I gave him more attention. I gave the guy more attention than I gave him, trying to make him jealous. And so let her know I'll call her back in a minute. So I was trying to make him jealous, and then he got upset that I did that, and so that caused the issue. And he left me and went back to like the condo that we were renting on this trip, and I didn't know how to get back to it. The only thing that I remember was number 42. So along the way, I ended up being at this college strip, college dorm, college students. I ended up being amongst college students, and they were having this back to school event, and it was going to a party and stuff. I kind of got engaged with them, going to a party, going back to school and stuff, and then I was trying to find my way, and I started to retrace the steps in my head, and I ended up back at the building. When I got back to the condo, he was like, "How did you know how to get back here?" And I said, "I just retraced my steps. I just knew how to get back." So then I wake up in this reality, and then I go back to sleep. I go back into the dream, and so we were sightseeing, and we were going to see some different things while we were on this trip. And we ran into a lady who was talking about she had bought this dress and she really liked it. And I remember sharing that it's not about the physical things. I said, I like creating memories. I said, I wish they had one of those photo booths where we could take different photos together and change the border around it. I said, I think that would be really cute and really nice, because I said, I value memories rather than things. Right? I remember that distinctly. Woke up again in this reality, and I go back to sleep, y'all. I know. It was crazy. So I go back to sleep. Now this time I go back to sleep. I'm driving on the expressway, and I see these two huge wheels. I'm talking about wheels that are bigger than an 18-wheeler. Not the wheels on the 18-wheeler, but the height of the 18-wheeler. And so these huge wheels are just rolling down the street, just rolling. And I'm like, wow, what is going on? Why are these wheels just rolling? So I get my camera to take a picture of it, because these wheels, no car connected to it, just rolling down the street. Next thing I know, the wheels go into the hood, and the guy jumps on top of the wheels and starts riding the wheel. And so I was videotaping it. So I go back to the condo to show my partner. I wanted him to see what had happened that day. And I was like, this is crazy. This is what happened. I said, but it felt like it was a dream. I said, this was what happened in my dream. I said, I want you to see. I said, I think I can be able to pull it up on my phone. It's weird that I can pull it up on my phone and show you exactly what happened in the dream. So I was able to pull up on my phone and show him, because all of the wheel and everything was actually like a dream. And within this dream, it didn't actually occur. And so I was able to show him part of what happened, but I wasn't able to show him the man on the wheel. That didn't pop up. And I told him, I said, I don't know, for whatever reason, it won't let me show you the man and the wheel. It'll let me show you everything else. And what I gather from that part is that some things are just for you. Some things are just for your remembrance dreams. Some dreams are just for your acknowledgement. It's just for your evolution. It's for your learning experience. Everybody won't get it. Some people won't even get this dream. Some people may be like, what the hell is she talking about? Reoccurring dreams. I've never had that. Some dreams are just like that. Just like some psychedelic experiences. You know, sometimes when you go on psychedelic experience, I wouldn't say sometimes, mostly all the time, there's going to be part of that psychedelic experience in which source is going to tell you this part is not to be shared with others. And that's okay. I've sat with people during their trip, and I will let them know, if you have an experience that you are informed from your higher self, from source, from force energy, that you are not supposed to share with anybody else, don't share it, not even with me. Like, you can tell me what you're allowed to tell me. If you're not allowed to tell me certain parts or certain things, that's fine. Don't tell me. Don't go against, your highest nature. So that's what I gather from that. Like, you can see certain things and certain things you can't. Then also a part of the dream, I told him, I remember sitting on the bed and we were having a conversation, and I told him, throughout my experience, I remember utilizing psychedelics to get to a certain point of consciousness, of awareness that I wanted. I said, and then I stopped using psychedelics, and then I just asked the universe to bring to me the knowing that I wanted to take it up a level. And I said, without me just really thinking about it anymore, I said I had gotten to a point where I was stagnant, and then that part was released, and I got to a higher point without psychedelics that the universe took me to by me just asking and bringing it into my reality. I said, and now I'm there. And I said, you're in that. And I told him, I said, you're in the part of the experience that I was before, when I was seeking. I was in a seeking mode of awareness, of wanting to gain more spiritual knowledge base, and more attainment of energy, or just being able to feel more of the source frequency. I said, and I'm not there anymore, but I know I can understand where you are at this point, because I once was there as well. And that was the dream. And then I woke up. So it was several parts of that reoccurring dream that resonated with me. Not just the things that occurred, but some of the telepathic messages that were stated during the dream realm, just like what I just shared, is for a lot of us to be understanding of where we've been on our journey of awakening and enlightening, because it's always a constant journey, an ongoing journey. And then also understanding those who we have a romantic relationship with, those who we have a partnership with, a friendship, family members, those who are on their path of where they are in their spiritual awakening. You've once been there as well, and you can understand where they are at this point. They may not be on a frequency that you're on. They may not be there yet, but everybody has their own path. All right, everybody has their own journey, and the way that they travel it is always different. But having that empathetic nature of understanding that even though they may not be where you are, and they may not have started when you started your journey 20 years ago, whenever, or 2 years ago, who knows, but you can relate to where they are now because you once were there. And being understanding, and it really hit home for me even within my romantic partnership, of understanding where my partner is within his awakening, of, how he had to release, smoking marijuana for health purposes, eating meat for health purposes, mostly pork and steak and those heavy meats, and just, baked foods, no fried foods. He's been juicing. He's been buying fruits, and we've been juicing. And him just taking in more sunfire foods has brought him more into an awakening of higher frequency conversations. And we can have high frequency conversations like we did the other night about parthenogenesis, just talking about that. And even though he may have a conflict, internally with, this isn't real, that didn't really occur, but at least we're having the conversations. And I told him, don't speak on things that you haven't researched first. I said, first research, listen to some lectures, research what Dr. Delbert Blair has stated before he transitioned. I said, and then make your decision if you choose to agree or disagree with the theory. I said, but everything is based on what you choose. Delbert Blair stated that before. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. But at least don't go in ignorance, research it, and then you can say, hey, I agree or disagree. So even for us to have that type of conversation was meaningful, because it was on a higher frequency than to talk about more of the mundane, earthly things about, who performed at, the BET Awards or something, I don't know. But having those higher frequency conversations means more, and I having more of an understanding of like, okay, this is where he is in each aspect, of the journey, because I remember where I once was. So yeah, that's reoccurring dreams. Let me know how you all feel about reoccurring dreams, what your thought processes are with reoccurring dreams. If you're able to do like my friend's coworker, just bring it into your reality, which we can just by, taking our mind and our thought towards that in a meditative practices, if you will, is pretty much what she's doing, and creating that frequency and bringing that in. Or if it's like me and you're not like mindful of doing it, but it occurs, like last night it was back to back to back. I woke up and I go back to sleep, like, damn, I did it again. I was back there again. I was back there again with the same person doing the same thing. And just knowing that there were messages that needed to be shared of how I'm evolving, even in across timelines and existence. And so I wanted to share that with you. I hope you all are enjoying the summer heat, taking in vitamin D as needed, and using sunscreen as needed, and staying protected and hydrated with your fruit juices. This is definitely a time to do more juicing. I've been doing more juicing as well. Get your affairs in order. This is also a time to really take a clear look into what needs to be taken care of. We always like to talk about Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde affects us, more severely than others if there's things during times that we have alignment going on that we should pay special attention to, whether it be car maintenance, home maintenance, finances, relationships, personal health. Like, let's do that now. Let's be preventative in our Mercury retrograde. Let's not wait and let it hit us. We can be preventative. We know these things occur. They're going to continue to occur. The cosmos is the cosmos. The reasons for us to know and know when they hit is for us, just like with tarot, just like with our natal charts. Just to know these alignments gives us the autonomy to be able to choose your outcome. All right? And don't let things just happen to you. Be preventative in our outcomes. Look at it and choose the higher frequency and the highest vibration in all things. So, of course, as always, I'll leave you in peace, and